Hello, everyone. This is Olivia Crawford, and this is my interview with my dad, Kevin Crawford, for my multimodal remix project. So, Dad, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Olivia's father. My name is Kevin Crawford. I'm a senior dosimetrist at Fox Chase Cancer Center. I work in the radiation oncology department. I started off, I actually went to go to Mercy. I graduated in 96, 95 um, in radiation therapy. I was a radiation therapist for about 6 years. And then I moved into the dosimetry area. I learned on the job at Fox Chase. I trained at Fox Chase too. And I took my boards in June 2003 and passed my boards. That gave me my initial CMD. So my full name would be Kevin Crawford, comma BS, comma RTT for radiation therapist, radiologic technology therapist. The last T for therapy, and then my other initials would be CMD for certified medical dosimetrist. I've been working at Fox Chase total counting therapy and dosimetry. This will be 28 years in April. So I've seen a lot over those 28 years in the technology and the evolution of radiation treatments for cancer patients.
So, could you tell everyone what cancer is?
Cancer, just in real simple layman's terms, is a cell that just grows wildly. There's different reasons for it. Some we know, some we don't know. But basically, the cell grows wild. It doesn't stop growing. It takes over space and then it spreads to the organs and, can kill a patient, unfortunately.
And what would you say are the most common cancers that you work with at your job?
Um, Definitely prostate cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I know there was a study that the one of the attending docs that I work with mentioned. They said that they did a study on cadavers, and like 90% of the cadavers had prostate cancer, and some of them didn't even know it. Why they were alive. But prostate's a really popular not popular cancer, but a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm.
There's breast cancer is unfortunately there's a lot of cases that we treat. Um, skin Skin's real common.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it is pretty curable if it's a basal cell. If it's melanoma, that can get a little more serious. We treat a lot of unusual things too at Fox Chase. Angiosarcoma is pretty rare, but we see a pretty fair amount of patients a year because we're a major cancer center. Pancreas cancer, another one that's kind of rare is gallbladder cancer. We see them, but for me, I mean, from what I've seen over the years, it's prostate, breast, and actually lung cancer too. I didn't mention lung cancer. There's a lot of lung cancers too.
And what would you say is the one that you specifically treat the most? Would it be
I
like
don't.
the
I
ones that you mentioned, or
Yeah. As dosimetrists, there's six of us.
Mm-hmm.
We all treat everything. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I specialize a little bit in brachytherapy, which is using a radioactive source. Uh, Most of our treatments are external beam treatments. The X-rays are made with electricity.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm the only dosimetrist actually that does it. I work with a physicist, a radiation physicist, and we treat patients with brachytherapy. It's actually the oldest type of treatment. Marie Curie discovered radium, and that's what they used in the beginning. So I specialize in that, and that would be a lot of cervical boosts, prostate boosts, and Taneman ring, which would be cervix and endometrium.
Mm-hmm. And so we're gonna lead into the two um, therapies that I mentioned in my paper, which is chemotherapy and radiation therapy. So could you tell everyone what what is chemotherapy? For example, what is it used for? How it treats cancer, side effects, and yeah, I would say just elaborate on those things about chemotherapy.
Okay, chemotherapy. I mean, I know a lot more about radiation, but
Yeah.
I do know a decent amount about chemotherapy. Chemotherapy, the word is chemo in it, chemical.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a drug that is injected into the patient, and its whole goal is to go through it's systemic drug, so it goes through the whole patient's body, and if there are cancer cells that have broken off of the main tumor or the lymphatics right around the main tumor. The chemotherapy will go through the patient's body and kill any of the cancer cells, either in the blood or in the lymphatics. That's the problem, though, with chemo. The side effects aren't just limited to one area like they are in radiation. It's the whole patient, the whole body. You know, you have systemic side effects, and it can be pretty tough on patients. Most of the time, you'll see a patient maybe with breast cancer loses her hair or his hair. You know, that's kind of common. There are a lot of new drugs that they don't lose their hair as much as they used to. Or you'll see patients with nausea and vomiting. You know, they could have diarrhea. You know, because it affects the entire body. The side effects. Whereas radiation is just local. It's just the area where the cancer is.
So leading into radiation therapy, what is radiation therapy? And what is like the machinery around it? And then please describe the side effects of radiation therapy.
Sure. Radiation therapy is basically taking an X-ray, a high energy X-ray, not the kind of X-ray that you would use. You know, if you think you break a finger or your arm, you get a photo. It's a radiograph. That energy of those X-rays are very low. We use really high energy X-rays. And the X-rays are little packets of energy called photons, and they go through the patient and hit all the cells just in that area that we want to treat, and they damage the DNA of the cancer cells. And the cancer cells either die immediately, or when they try to divide, they start dying off. So the patient will get their daily dose of radiation every day, and slowly but hopefully surely get rid of all the cancer cells in that area and kill the cancer. The problem is that not only does it kill the cancer cells, it also kills the good cells. And basically, the good cells will grow back, and the idea is the cancer cells won't. And it definitely works. I mean, we do cure people. Cancer's not quite what it once was in the past. I had patients, I don't get too many now because I've been off the machines for a while. When I used to actually give the radiation treatments, I had patients 10 years later still coming to say hi to me on their checkups. So it is very curable in some cases. And basically those photons, like I was saying, go through and kill the cancer cells. And the other thing I said too was the side effects are just in that area because it's a local treatment. You know, chemotherapy is systemic through the whole body, and radiation's local. So the side effects are actually associated with that. So the chemo side effects are systemic, radiation is just in that area.
And based off of all the information you've given so far, if you had to choose, would you rather say that chemotherapy or radiation therapy is better for a patient's overall health, including the side effects? Like, which one would you pick out of the two?
Well, if you have a cancer that's early stage, caught early, and it's just in the area where the cancer, you know, showing up, then obviously you want radiation because that is treating. It's going to kill the cancer in that area, but the side effects will be limited to that area, as opposed to, you know, we call it. They say if the cat got out of the bag, you know, if the cancer cells are already starting to spread and going through your body. And you know, maybe one cell gets through and it hits your liver and it starts growing in your liver. That's a metastasis. So if you have chemotherapy, there's a chance that you have cancer throughout your body, or it's already starting to metastasize. So if I could pick, I would pick a cancer where just radiation treats it, because that obviously would have a better, you know, prognosis as far as treatment. So I would rather, as a human being, just have the type of treatment that if I have to get side effects, it's limited to just that area.
Well, it's almost 10 minutes, but I thank you for your time, and I hope everyone enjoyed this interview with my dad.
Thank you.